City ride, taking you through every city. City ride, it's a movement, not a destination. City ride,
It's another interesting day right here in Coal City, Enugu State, and this is City Ride Television, where we tell you the story the African way. On today's program, we have an interesting guest I think you would like to meet. But before that, let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll introduce you to our all wonderful guests in the studio. My name is Michi. Stay with us.
taking you through every city. Why don't you join this ride? Oh, why don't you join this ride?
Welcome back. It's good to know that you're still out there with us. And like I promised you, we have an interesting guest today, which I think you will definitely want to meet. And we are talking about no other person but Dr. Chima Chidubem, who happens to be the Chief Medical Director, Easy Care's Multi-Specialist Hospital, Transekulu, Enugu. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Michi. It's very wonderful and refreshing to be here with you. Thank you.
It's also interesting to know that this young man here, who happens to be a medical director, is also attempting to break the world record as the longest marathon speech, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Exactly.
Good.
Exactly.
So, one would be wondering, how come a doctor and you're talking about marathon speeches?
You're not the first to ask this. Actually, I've had friends who called me up immediately. They saw the signs and the posters everywhere to say, "What's going on? Are you trying to leave the profession?" And I was like, we could have diversity in our profession. You know, there's this thing about the professional side of you and the talent side of you. When your talent meets your profession, you excel. So we've had this monopoly of sticking to the place for so long. You're an engineer, you continue being an engineer. You're a lawyer, you continue being a lawyer. Same with medical doctors. But we believe we have innate talents. We believe we have gifts. We believe we have persons in us that could explore and excel in different places.
So we are trying to tell us that all these years, this speech talent, as you've been referring to, has been lying there, has not been explored. And now you want to start releasing some powers you don't touch.
I wouldn't releasing powers anyway. It's been long coming. It's been long coming. All through my life, I've exhibited this very attribute. It's one of the very many attributes that the Almighty God has instilled in me. And I believe same for every person out there. You have something in you which you either have underused, not used at all, or have not discovered. Because
that is something you're saying. You're releasing some powers that you like for a long time. Dr. Chima, it's good to see that you are breaking protocols, avoiding stereotypes. We are used to, like you said, once you're an engineer, if you start doing something different, we look at you somehow as if you don't know what you're doing. And I think it's high time we stopped all this and then embraced the inner talent we have in us.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you are actually.
I'll tell you a story though. When I was in school, medical school that is, we had this class, community medicine, where we were taught communication. So communication was classified.
Wow.
And I was sitting at the back, all the way at the back. And when my lecturer, a doctor, a professor now, laid down these classifications, and I was sitting there, I said, "That's not all." I could just say it in me. I said, "No, that's not all. What about this? What about that? This is something we do every day." So while he was teaching, I had to raise up my hands and I said, "Excuse me, sir, can I ask something?" He said, "By all means." I told him, "Could we move away from these classifications?"
Wow.
And I laid down a whole new classification. Oh wow. He is an accommodating person. Some other persons would have seen it as a slight or what you could have. So I laid down a whole new classification. He said, "Yes. We could think of that. We could postulate this." So we are, like you said, we are used to following a guideline. there's a blueprint. You could create a new one.
Thank you. So, in other words, the fact that something is good does not mean it cannot be better.
Exactly.
So, what inspired you to embark on this longest marathon speech? I'm curious because I don't think I can speak for that long. So, how long is supposed to last the longest marathon speech?
Okay, we are aiming at 118 hours. Yes.
Okay,
so that's roughly 5 days.
5 days.
Yes. It's a tall order. We believe we will be able to do it. We believe we have all it takes to do it because there is, like I said, the part of you that reaches for excellence. And the last record holder, I would say the last about to be.
I like that.
Yes, we'll be taking over. He spoke for 19 hours and 2 minutes. So that's nearly 4 days, 3 days and 3 nights and another day running. So we intend to topple that and go so far to make sure that we have toppled it over.
Time for someone else to do that.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to embark on this? That's I'm curious.
Distinction. The hunger to carve a niche for myself, for fellow youths out there, especially in our present climate in Nigeria, where you see the youths, the young man, the young lady beaten down, not thinking they could afford to give any other thing to the society other than the university certificate, where they think they cannot afford to make anything out of themselves other than what they've been told.
Yeah.
Now, we need to carve that niche. We need to portray excellence. We need to show them that confidence can be exuded and take you to places.
So you're taking one for the youth.
That is one for the youth. And this is again one for the very many ideologies we've had that we want to put into play. Now, I wouldn't really center on the record. The record is a platform to move. So you know what they say, that when opportunity meets preparedness, it's a goal already.
Yes.
So this is the preparedness, having seen an opportunity and a platform to portray itself. So we swung into action, like my mentor would say, there's a swung into action, Professor Dara, and then we took it as a platform to show the world that the African youth, the youths of the world now, are better off and can excel on whatever thing they lay their hands on to do positive things, actually.
So in other words, the time for thinking is over. It's time for action.
Exactly.
So, what do you intend to achieve with all these? Because this is a tall order. The current record holder is 19 hours. 90 hours.
90 hours, yes. In 2 minutes.
2 minutes. And you want to topple that? It's 180 hours.
118.
118 hours.
At least.
At least. Exactly. Which means we don't know the kind of power you have. You might actually make 6 days.
We may make it 6, we may make it 7. That's why we are reaching out. That's why we are making a lot of noise and telling people what we are doing. And it's very interesting and encouraging that a lot of persons are taking interest. A lot of persons see it as fascinating. A lot of persons see it as an avenue that is life-changing, not just for oneself, but for a cluster of persons.
It's good because it seems like you are going to be the beacon of hope, because when you're a young man and you have excelled in your profession, being a CM, chief medical director, is not done. It's not something. It's not a cheap feat. So then you want to diversify, not within the same field, but something extraordinary. So I must say it's remarkable. You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you so much.
So then,
Thank you so much.
how has the reception been so far in the Enugu State? The youth, are they giving you the support you need? The family, the friends, are you getting the support you need?
Well, I must say that so far, so good. We've gotten a marginal line of support. There is this tale the Igbo man will say, na mwadimma.
Yes.
Our child, our son, he's a great liar, and all that. But then when it's a time to build, you find yourself building almost alone and with a lot of other persons. I am grateful to my family for supporting me so far. They've been quite a rock. I am grateful to friends, like my very own friend, who happens to be the chairman of the local organizing committee, and my manager, Engineer Kingsley Onyanta.
Okay.
I have the secretary of the committee, Amanda Eze, so many of them. I have my beloved sister, Quinda Chima. They've all flocked behind me, and they are supporting me real good. And also some other persons who picked interest, like the venue we will be using, the Bay's Landmarks Event Center at Independence Lab in they saw the foresight. They keyed in with us.
Wow.
They gave us wonderful, wonderful packages that we can hold. We have other eateries. We have Tachios Foods, the famous Tachios Foods coming in. So these are people who have seen the foresight. They've seen where we are going. They've seen what we hope to achieve. Like I said, it's not about the record, really. It's about creating a platform on which to grow other things ahead of that.
You're still watching the Spotlight on City Light Television, and we've had a wonderful guest here in the studio, Dr. Chima Chidubem, who happens to be the Chief Medical Director of Easy Care's Multi-Specialist Hospital, Transekulu in Uwe. And not just that, he's also attempting to break the world record on the longest marathon speech. So stay with us after the break, we'll come back, and then you see how you can play your own role in supporting to bring this trophy home. Okay, welcome back. It's still Spotlight on City Light Television, where we'll tell you the story the African way. And today's episode, we are telling our story the African way because somebody wants to break a record. And that record is not just for him, but for all of us here in this country, not just in the State. So, Dr. Chima, it's good to have you in the studio once again.
Thank you once more.
Now, I have a question. This is a competition. It's a contest.
Exactly.
And in as much as we like the winning mentality. So what happens if there is a little challenge? Will it demoralize you or will you try again?
I think that's a pertinent question.
Okay.
I think we've already won.
Good.
I think, and I know, and I strongly believe that even if we decide not to go on stage anymore, I think we've won. I think we've done the job. We've dared things people couldn't imagine. We've dared things people would say it can be done. And we've stirred up a lot of youths. We've stirred up minds, professional minds. We've stirred up the artisans. We've stirred up businessmen. Everybody is in tune and saying, oh wow, the thought of this alone is an achievement.
It's an achievement.
It's not about the win. I could get on stage and I decided that at the end of 90 minutes, I ain't taking no more. Yes, but then it's about the mentality, the I can do spirit that has been portrayed, and the very many messages that will follow suit. I want the Nigerian youth, the African youth, the youths in the world, both Caucasians alike, to have their voices entrenched in the United Nations, to have their voices entrenched in the UNICEF programs,
Wow.
to have their voices entrenched in various parastatals within and outside the country. We need people to speak. We purposely chose this very topic and this very contest, longest speech marathon, because we want to talk. We have a lot of things to say. We need the youth to believe in themselves once more. We want to bring back the debating spirit. We want people to begin to seek for knowledge once more. There was a time when people don't read, they don't have a new thing they gain for the day as a knowledge. They are not at rest. They can't sleep. I have friends that will tell me, I've not achieved anything today. What is that achievement? I've not learned anything new. Wow. Now a lot of persons go to bed, they've not learned anything.
We sleep.
And they are comfortable.
We sleep.
Oh, we sleep.
We sleep. They're not going to kill us.
Definitely. But then again, the point is, you have to have the mentality to achieve. We need, and then I said something that was very striking and it's mind-boggling. I don't like reading.
Wow.
It is very, very, that's library. But then again, I'm not trying to say that I don't like reading. And the Igbo man will tell you that by the ransacking of your own house, you know the nature of things here. You can extrapolate to your neighbor.
Exactly.
Likewise, a lot of youths don't like reading. That is why the entertainment world, the singing world, the dancing world has taken.
I think if we could make reading attractive, which is what we are
Exactly.
trying to do now, if you could make speaking attractive, I think people will try to speak.
Beautiful.
So I admire your courage and the boldness it takes you to start off this journey.
That is the aim. When I was a student, I became a medical doctor because as a medical doctor you have to read. And you have to read all the days of your lives. And if I hadn't read, I wouldn't have made it thus far. But then I had to find ways to make reading very fun. The conventional ways of reading, the orthodox methods that we have, it's not working. Where you walk into a library, you sit down for hours, you find a lot of persons, go to the libraries, you will see nobody there. From the state library to the national library, there's nobody there. In schools, there's nobody there. So we can bring up this innovative idea. I have this idea that we call the reading gardens. When you go to universities, you have things we call the love garden.
Yes, the love garden.
You see two couples married in school, single at school. Some parents don't know that.
Actually, I thought the love garden, initially when I entered school, I thought the love garden was where you go to and fall in love. Then
unfortunately, you have to come with someone to fall in love. So that's actually an innovation we can start up. When I was in the university at the College of Medicine, the ShopRite Arena, it's a mall. It has a big parking lot. I move from my school, I get into the parking lot, I read. I walk around the very premises carrying my book. So when you walk in, you drive in, you say, oh, maybe he's waiting for someone. No, I've been there for hours. I've been reading.
All right, let's hold that thought. We would like to invite you to the studio again to tell us on how we can make reading fun. But for now, how do we support you? Are you getting any sponsorships, partnership, or do you want more? Do you have enough already, or you want people to support this?
And in all honesty, we are grappling at this point. We need a lot of people to come in and support us. We don't want to do this on our own. We need a lot of support. We need financially, we need publicity-wise, we need material-wise. There are a lot of things we need supporting. It's very daunting that up till now, we're still trying to manage to get certain things because there's paucity of funds and people just want to cling to success. We will succeed, but the process to get into that success.
So what exactly do you need right now? Do you need financial help? Like you said, publicity, and so this is what's reaching out to you right there. This is our home. We must bring this trophy home, and let us do our best. So if there are certain help you could render financially, otherwise, on that day, people might need to drink water, right?
Exactly.
We need to take our support Dr. Chima with. Just call the numbers showing right now on your screen. And you can also send a message. Whichever way, I think you get a message, right?
Exactly.
Thank you.
We will.
So, what's your final statement? What should we look at on the when and where is it happening, and what should we be expecting?
The attempt on longest speech marathon for the official Guinness World Record will be taking place in Enugu at the Bayes Landmarks Event Center. It starts from Sunday, the 7th of July, which is this Sunday coming up, and spans for at least 5 days. We will be there. Take out your 5 minutes, take out your 10 minutes. Let's make this project our own. Let's tell the world that we're here. If you don't say I am, nobody will say thou art. So please be there. We need everybody. Because there are faces I will see. There's a number of persons I will see. There's a kind of support I will see. I will be there for a week speaking. So please.
I think I'm going to be there. So if that's the kind of support you need, I think I'm going to be there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Chima, for coming to the studio. And this is Spotlight on City Right Television. And This is the attemptee on the longest speech marathon. That is Guinness World Record, and he intends to break that. So please, whatever support you can, call the numbers showing right now on your screen. My name is Michi, and this is us telling you bye-bye.